I'm going to give you my recommendations on how to load out your Mercury Star Runner, and we're starting right now.
Crusader Industries, a journey worth taking. Systems on.
Thank you so much to all the support from patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers that make this possible. Welcome to a Star Citizen's Loadout Guide. What's up, citizens? This is SubliminaL here, and in this guide, we'll discuss my recommendations for both weapons and components for your Crusader Mercury Star Runner. Our primary build will be a multi-crew one that will excel at PvE and PvP if necessary. Solo pilots, don't worry, you'll just need to make a small change. My full review of the Mercury Star Runner will be coming soon, so make sure you're subscribed and have the bell clicked. Enough with the formalities, let's get to it. The Mercury Star Runner is a courier ship by Crusader Industries that is focused on quickly and discreetly delivering small payloads of goods or data. And today, we're going to load it out to excel at that as well as anything else that may happen in the verse. I'll also briefly cover stealth as well. Now that we understand the objective of this build, let's take a look at its components. Let's start with the power plant that generates power for our weapons and those components. The standard power plants on the Star Runner are the size 2 Grade C industrial class diligences. When deciding on a power plant, our priority should be stealth or request time, with max power generation being last. So I'll be adding a couple of eclipses. They are Grade A, stealth class, has over 5300 max power generation per second, and a super quick 1.25 second request time. We will lose a significant amount of max power draw that we don't need, and reduce the time it takes to reach that max power draw down to 1.25 seconds. I'm choosing the eclipses to reduce that startup time and my detection range. Let's discuss its coolers. These cool our weapons and components after they've overheated. The standard coolers on the Star Runner are the size 2 Grade C industrial class cool core coolers. I can't stress this enough, you do not need to upgrade these. However, if you want to lower your emissions at zero cost to your performance, I would recommend adding Nightfalls. They are Grade A, stealth class, with a cooling rate of 3,400 kilos of cooling per second and a draw request time of 15 seconds. By upgrading these, you are slightly reducing your stealth signature while slightly raising the time it takes for your ship to power up. An honorable mention will be the stock cool cores. For a full explanation on how power plants and coolers work, or for an explanation on what I mean when I say kilo per second, check out my guides on power plants and coolers. Shields and QT drives are coming soon. Now for the shield generator that protects our ship and these components. The Star Runner stock shield generators are the size 2 Grade C industrial class Aspis shield generators. I want to go for a semi-tanky build, but I don't want to leave myself with a terrible recovery time, so I'll be adding an Umbra. It is Grade 1, stealth class, with an HP pull of over 12,000, a 346 HP per second regen rate, blocks a minimum of 50% ballistic fire, has a 0-second damage delay, a 21-second down delay, and a 2.25 second request time. And I'll pair it with a Rampart. It's Grade 1, industrial grade, with an HP pool of over 32,000, a 173 HP per second regen rate, blocks a minimum of 50% ballistic fire, has a 0-second damage delay, a 12-second down delay, and a 13.5 second request time. This will actually lower our overall shield pool. However, the Umbra's regen will allow us to get enough health back quickly to get back into the fight. Running this build against the toughest PvE targets, I seldom lose a shield facing. Another great shield to incorporate with the Rampart is the FR-76. It has a decent recovery time and health pool. It should be noted that there is another great shield combo in my opinion. Pairing one Umbra or FR-76 with a Sukaron is great. The Sukaron has 100% ballistic resistance, so it will need to be taken down completely for ballistics to damage the hull from that shield generator, or completely if you're fortunate enough to have two. The upside is unparalleled shield pool and pretty good stealth. The downside is terrible regen rate. However, you can adapt your playstyle. You'll just need to ensure that you take out your enemy before your shields go down completely, because if they do, it's going to take a long time for them to regen back up. For this reason, I don't recommend dual Sukarons if you plan to PvP. Unfortunately, if you don't own either a Banu Defender or Prowler, there is no way to get access to the Sukaron. And lastly, the quantum drive that will help you get to the stores to sell these components faster. The standard QT drive on the Star Runner is the size 2 Grade C industrial class Bolon. And we have a saying around here on SubliminaL's channel, the Bolon stinks like colon. This drive is terrible for the current state of the game. The Mercury Star Runner hands down has the best quantum fuel capacity in its class. Because of this, I recommend the XL1. The XL1 is grade 1, military class, has a 260 megameter per second quantum speed, a 24 per megameter fuel requirement, a 1.75 second spool up, and a 22.86 second cooldown time. The XL1 is the fastest size 2 drive available, and with the MSR's quantum fuel tank, it can make a round trip across the system 3 times and have some left to spare. Quite conveniently, every component I recommend can be found at New Babbage. Before we get into weapons, the link to this specific loadout on the DPS calculator can be found via the link in the description. If you'd like, you can head over to the channel Discord as well, where we have a community of over 2,200 citizens who like to discuss ships, loadouts, components, weapons, and more. And it's where I store my most up-to-date loadouts, because this one will be obsolete at some point. Link in the description. I'm excited to announce a new art series, Vessels of the Verse. This will be the first of many designs that will be released alongside buyer's guides and loadout guides. They will be available on Displayed in 48 hours, on the merch store in 24 hours, desktop wallpapers are available right now to Twitch subs, patrons, and YouTube channel members, and mobile wallpapers are available for free via link in the description. Now, let's talk about his stock weapons and my recommendations. Underneath the nose, the Star Runner is equipped with a gimbaled pilot turret with 2 size 3 hardpoints, holding a pair of CF337 laser repeaters. One CF337 does 96 alpha damage times 275 RPM for a total of 440 DPS and a 2100 meter range. I personally love these weapons, but I have something that will excel greatly with the included gimbals and pair nicely with the turrets. For this, I'll be adding 2 Sucker Punches. One Sucker Punch XL does 906 distortion alpha damage times 75 RPM for a total of 1150 DPS and a 2900 meter range. Now hear me out. My strategy with these is to quickly finish off my enemy shields with ease, all while rarely missing a shot, by the way, due to the gimbal assist, and then allowing my turret gunners to finish off the targets. If you plan on going solo, try either the FL33 laser cannons or just stock Panthers. These Sucker Punches do absurd amounts of shield damage with splash damage, meaning when enemies take a hit, it does damage to multiple shield facings. But wait, there's more. Distortion cannons have the highest probability of disabling enemy coolers and causing their ship to shut down mid-flight. But beware, if you use these solo, they do not do hull damage, so you'll have to use a missile to finish off enemies. Both manned turrets tote 2 size 3 CF337 Panthers as well. As I said before, I love these weapons, so I prefer to keep them. An honorable mention would be FL33 laser cannons because of their superb range. For you solo pilots, I would add those Sucker Punches to one of these turrets instead of the nose in case you find yourself with an unexpected friend in the verse. Inside the hull, we have a cool missile delivery system with 2 missile racks. One with an MSD-313 with 1 Arrestor 3, and an MSD-322 with 2 Tempest 2s. With the recent changes to missiles, I prefer quickest lock time. This would be the Rattler 2s. One Rattler does 3500 damage, has a 1.26 second lock time, and a 4500 meter lock range. An honorable mention, especially if you're having issues with the rats, is to use Ignite 2s. I've heard reports of Rattlers not hitting targets, but I haven't really had the issue. Although, to be honest, I haven't been known to throw missiles. I prefer IR missiles because if my target's coolers are malfunctioning due to distortion damage, then it's possible it can raise its temperature and negate countermeasures. For this reason, IRs pair well with distortion weapons, and they generally have the quickest lock time, so it's a win-win. As for the other size 3 missile, I actually will keep these in case I need to do some damage to a heavy PvE target. According to Urkel, you could remove this 313 missile rack and equip it with a 322 and get more size 2 missiles. That would be my honorable mention. You'll have to go to Area 18 for the Rattlers, but other than that, everything else can be picked up at New Babbage as well. If you don't have a whopping 439,000 Alpha UEC to buy this entire build all at once, I would buy them in the following order. Note, if you don't upgrade the coolers, you can save yourself over 120,000 Alpha UEC. The most important things here are the weapons and shields, followed by the stealth power plants. Upgrading any more is not necessary. Let's talk briefly about stealth. Stealth in the MSR is, well, terrible. Regardless, here's how I would load it out. I'd keep the Eclipse power plants and Nightfall coolers from the main build, add 2 stealth grade 1 Umbra shield generators unless you have a Sukaron. It could be beneficial to pair one with the Umbra, and you can pick whatever QT drive you prefer. Now, for the weapons, it's less cut and dry. Those Sucker Punches I keep talking about have a really low IR for some reason, so I'll keep them. The EM is pretty bad, but our IR will be our bottleneck. As for the turrets, there are a lot of viable weapons. Asperia makes the Light Strike 3 laser cannons that are stealthy and energy, so ammo is no concern. There are also the Tarantula Mark III ballistic cannons, and finally Mantis GT220s always perform well. Also, there's the new Deadbolt 3s by Asperia, but I wasn't able to get those to fire. I don't know if this was a bug just for me or if it's for everyone. Let's take a look at those stealth stats. The IR on the Star Runner after 30 minutes of flying around is around 8500 with this stealth build. So depending on your opposition's radar, your detection range is between 4250 and 6375 if you're not using Afterburner. You are free to fly around at any speed while firing without raising your IR significantly, but if you use your Afterburner, that goes right out of the window. This includes Space Break, so only use it if you're in trouble and need to bug out. I don't see myself using this stealth build at all, but it could be fun to try out. I hope you enjoyed my loadout guide of the Mercury Star Runner. I'd love to hear about yours down in the comments. My full review of the Mercury Star Runner will be coming shortly, so make sure you're subscribed and have the bell clicked. If you enjoy my channel, there are so many ways to support it, ranging from free options like Prime Gaming subscriptions and sending out for UEC in the verse, sub club subscriptions, merch, to more generous forms of support. Head over to subliminalchannel.tv to learn how. Your support in all forms makes this channel possible. Even your viewership, liking, and subscribing goes a long way. To continue watching, here's a video I think you may like, here's a video YouTube thinks you may like, and until next time, citizens, I'll see you in the verse.